Here on Kiwi.
A little something for the weekend with Sam Hunt.
Yeah, of course, it's a little something for the weekend. The one and only Sam Hunt. Good morning, Sam.
Good day, Wammo. How are you?
I'm well. I'm very well.
I've just been listening before you rang this morning. I've just been listening to the sounds of spring, of course, but the shining cuckoo, they're busy pushing the grey warblers out of their nest so they can take over.
Oh, brilliant!
So they're making that they imitate the grey warbler, the shining cuckoo, and then they do that big downstroke. I remember a woman I met once saying that her husband, she was no longer married to him, but she said that her husband at this time of year, when the time of the shining cuckoo would start doing its thing, this down thing, wonderful. It's like a sort of a deep bow on the double, so it's just great. It's like sliding the finger right down the cello as you bow, you know.
Nice.
And she said, I always knew he was going mad. This was the time of year he went, lost the plot.
Yeah. How's the pied stilt doing on the
Not
bird
too good,
side?
I'm afraid to say, Wammo. People have got to really rally here.
Yeah.
Look, see, all these other people who have got birds, to do with this forest and bird competition.
Yeah.
In case those who don't know, there's a competition, and people. I'm the chair, the team. What am I called? Team leader.
Team leader, campaign manager.
Campaign manager.
Yeah.
The chief wanker, the chief tugger. What am I? Campaign manager.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for the pied stilt for the poaka, but we have only got at last. Oh, pathetic. I mean, things like Kiri te Kanawa's native wood pigeons got about 600 votes, and the pied stilt's got bugger all, about 20 votes. And I made a list of the birds that have got under 50 votes, and they're nearly all birds I really love.
Yeah.
Which really surprises me. I agree. I don't like the plover much. But the gannet, for example, I think is absolutely. Well, they've only got 24 votes.
Right.
And the silver eye, which are a lot of up here, the beautiful little birds, only 29 votes. The shag.
Yeah.
The shag, after which so much has been named.
Yes.
13.
Ah. Well, maybe people think shag is just really common, I suppose.
But they're beautiful. Anything that could fly like that, anyone who could build an aeroplane that could fly like a shag.
Oh, exactly.
They'd be there. I mean, it's. So I'm saying to all those good loyal people out there, I sound like Winston Peters.
My constituency.
I ran into him recently. Yeah. Speaking of which, I of course heard yesterday, as most people will have, the news of the news of Howie's of Sir Howie's death. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was a charming old bugger. I was very fond. I didn't know him well. The last meeting we had, we just ran into each other in the foyer of a big Auckland. I think it was in Auckland. Yeah, an Auckland hotel, and we had a bit of a chat. It was quite a strange conversation because he said to me, this is Sir Howard Morrison. He said, it's a wonder they haven't given you one of these knighthoods, Sam. And I said, look, Howard, I'm waiting for the big one. I'm waiting for the sainthood, the canonization.
Right.
And he said, well, look, if I get there first, I'll put a word in for you. So,
well, he could be doing that right now.
And coincidentally, quite coincidentally, I was talking to a friend yesterday, actually before I heard the news of Sir Howard's death. I was talking to a dear old friend, and he'd just been reading some translations by Alan Kernow and Roger Oppenheimer of Maori and Pacific Island poems. And I came across this poem, and I was actually literally reading it when I heard vaguely on the news that Howard Morrison was dead. So could I read it to you?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
It's called Te Pare Anu. It's a translation, obviously, I think from the, Rarotongan, I think. A mother mourns a son. I will drench with my tears the tracks that you travelled going up by Te Pare Anu. If only the south wind could carry me coldly to the island of Kaiawa, too far for me to go, through shadows, through showers of tears poured out in pain all the long night. I have seen the borderland. I have not seen, even dimly, where the dead rest by the trees beside the water. So I'd like to dedicate that in memory of Sir Howard Morrison.
And isn't it fitting on his death? So the weather system that came through, and I know in Rotorua it was pouring down with rain, and they were also talking about a strange mist.
Is that right?
That sort of appeared as well. Yeah.
Is that right? You got to time. That's being a reverend. I was going to say you got to time it properly, don't you?
Well, yeah. I guess so.
Check the weather forecast before you let go.
Well, that's right. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Would you want to pass away on a bright, sunny day? Well, I don't know.
I like that story. I think I've told you on air before that story about one of the old families in New Zealand. I'll leave the name out in case it embarrasses anyone. It shouldn't. But it's a great story. It was the Todd family, and one of the old Todds was dying, and they had the family gathered there. And he said, "Look," he said, "I hope he's he said, "I know I'm dying." He said, "I'm about to go and meet my maker." But he said, "I don't quite know what to do." So I really liked, what are you meant to do? Turn to the wall?
Yeah, like how you've been meant to present yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that poem of translated by Alan Kernow and Roger Oppenheimer, Te Pare Anu, A Mother Mourns Son. It brought to mind a poem which I'd love to grab the sneak and the chance of saying it, because it's got an echo of that for me, for a fairly obvious reason. But it's W.B. Yeats. Every few weeks I seem to slip a Yeats poem in.
Why not?
And here's one I've loved for years, and I haven't checked it out in the book. And it's called, I call it The Old Men. I think its full title is The Old Men Admiring Themselves in the Water. And it goes roughly like this. I heard the old men say, everything alters, and one by one we drop away. They had hands like claws, and their knees were twisted like the old thorn trees by the waters. I heard the old men say, all that's beautiful drifts away like the waters. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And I've actually, one thing I was going to mention today, but I think I may leave it till next week because it's quite a solid poem. But I've just discovered a Scottish poet, a woman poet whose work I love. I've just missed some of the people who listen there may be aware of her work. Her name's Tracy Hurd. Hurd spelled H-E-R-D. Tracy Hurd. She lives in Dundee, and my God, she's good. It's just lovely when you find somebody like that, whose words just lift off the page straight away.
Dundee.
She lives in Dundee, yeah. I was a little bit perturbed to hear that she teaches creative writing at a university. I don't think poets should do that. Yeah. But I think it's tempting the gods. I'm still superstitious about all that stuff. I know they have great success. I mean, look at Bill Manhire's writing course.
Yeah.
It's been like a thoroughbred stable. But I've been reading some of these novels in a slightly more objective way, and they're all some of them, not all, seem to be almost writing the same novel and the same sort of poem.
Right.
I just do think that it really brings the fashion thing. So anyway, but away from that, Tracy Hurd is a wonderful poet. Next week as a poem, word for it today.
Oh, right. We'll bank that for next week.
It's called Anne Sexton's Last Letter to God. My gosh, it's good. Anne Sexton being we'll talk about that next week.
Okay.
So what are you doing this weekend?
Well, this weekend I'm looking out for the rain, the rain of soil, the red rain.
Oh, red rain.
Yeah, there are reports coming through this morning already that people in Auckland are waking up with a slight film on their cars.
Well, strangely enough, I had 2 clean sheets out overnight on the line.
Yeah.
Now, this morning
they're a different colour.
They were bundled up in the far corners of a paddock by the wind.
Right.
But there was a red film on them.
There you go.
So I could have that analysed and prove that it's a real thing from across the ditch.
Yeah, isn't that bizarre, amazing? The soil from the outback of Australia is here in New Zealand now.
That's right. That's right.
Apparently, there are some spiders also that on such winds as we've seen this week that will carry their way over from Australia.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I got here. Hey, just before you go, just another one of those old, just a very short, it's called An Ancient Flute Song. This is, again, the Kernow Oppenheimer, okay?
Great.
Because we were talking about the Shining Cuckoo. And just to finish up and say, have a good weekend. Oh, shining cuckoo, cuckoo, with a long tail calling down to me your news of the spring. Come close. The wind slams and pierces, loosed from Manganui, where Rapiro lies under the rituals are forgotten. Let rituals be forgotten. Rain on, oh rain, tangled over the broad earth, loom of the last darkness. Come, cormorant at Tatahake, fly out from the wind, sleep inward. Make your nest here in the quiet skies of the mind.
Nice one, Sam.
Hey, good one, Wammo.
We'll catch you next week.
We'll talk to you next week, eh?
Yeah, see ya.
See ya.
The weekend. That was a little something for the weekend with Sam Hunt, only on Kiwi FM.